Let's talk about the fourth step, which is to prevent distraction with pacts. So hacking back the external triggers is about keeping the triggers out. This is about keeping yourself in. And this is an ancient technique. The first recorded case of someone using a pre-commitment is in the story of Ulysses, written by Homer 2,500 years ago. Ulysses is this Greek hero. He has to sail his ship past the island of the Sirens. The Sirens are these mythical creatures who sing this magical song. Anyone who hears it becomes entranced and crashes their ship onto the island of the Sirens.
I'd love to hear that song.
Yeah. What is that?
What is it? What are they saying? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. But yeah, I remember
Taylor
this.
Swift. I'm thinking. I'm not really sure.
Right.
But.
And I remember there was a movie where they did this, and they had the guy, and he was lashed to the boat, and he had to stick. I don't know. It was like,
Exactly. So
yeah.
this is what Ulysses does. He
Okay.
makes what we now know as a Ulysses Pact. He plans ahead. He makes a pre-commitment. What does he do? He tells his crew, put beeswax in your ears so you can't hear the siren song, and tie me to the mast of the ship. And no matter what I do, no matter what I say, do not let me go. And it works. He can sail his ship right past the Sirens Island.
So he experiences it, but he doesn't go off course in his mission.
He knows he might get distracted, and he plans ahead. So here's the thing. If there's one mantra that I want people to remember, write this down somewhere. I don't care if you buy the book, but remember this. The antidote to impulsiveness is forethought. The antidote to impulsiveness is forethought. If the chocolate cake is on the fork on its way to your mouth, it's too late. If the cigarette is lit and you're about to take a puff, you're going to give in. If you're sleeping next to your cell phone, equidistant from your lover, they're going to get you. You've lost. The key here doesn't matter how delicious the chocolate cake, how enticing the cigarette, how amazing Facebook's algorithms are, or whatever technology might distract you. Fundamentally, there is no distraction that we can't overcome through forethought. A gift of our species that we can do better than any other animal on the face of the earth is that we can see the future with greater fidelity. We can predict what is going to happen like no other creature on earth. And we can use that to our benefit. We can plan today to make sure we don't get distracted tomorrow, just like Ulysses did. So there are three types of pacts. We have effort pacts, price pacts, and identity pacts. An effort pact is when you put some bit of friction between you and the thing you don't want to do. So for example, as I mentioned, my wife and I have been married for 18 years. A few years ago, our sex life was really suffering. We just did not have time to be intimate with each other. Why? Because every night we were going to bed, I was playing with my iPhone and she was fondling her iPad. And so we weren't being intimate. And we kept going, not only was this affecting our sex life, it was affecting our sleep. You know, we would go to sleep later and later every night. So what did I do? I made a price pact. I made an effort pact. I went to the hardware store and I bought an outlet timer. And this outlet timer you can set for any time of day or night, and whatever you plug into it will turn on and off based on when you set it for. In my household, every night at 10 p.m., my internet router shuts off. Now, could I turn it back on? Of course I could. I could go fumble with it, turn it, unplug it, replug it, and turn it back on. Right. But I've inserted some effort in between me and something I don't want to do. Today, actually, there's routers that are built in with this, so you can leave the smart devices on and just turn on, my daughter's iPad and our iPhone. We can turn off the internet on certain devices specifically. So that's an effort pact, making that behavior more difficult to do. A price pact is when we have some kind of cost, some kind of monetary disincentive to not doing the thing we don't want to do. And this research came from a smoking cessation study. In fact, the most effective smoking cessation study in history. They had three groups. Group one, they let them have as much information about smoking cessation, the latest techniques, cigarette patches, or nicotine patches, nicotine gum, any of the conventional techniques they wanted. That was Group A. Group B, they said, if you don't smoke for 6 months, and they did periodic urine tests to confirm this, if you don't smoke for 6 months, we will give you a prize of $800. Now, Group B did much better than Group A. Okay, for addictive as nicotine is, hey, a little bit of money got a lot of people to stop smoking. But here's the interesting thing. What happened in Group C? In Group C, they said, if you don't smoke for 6 months, we will give you $650 as a prize. But to be in this program, you have to put up $150, which you will receive back if you don't smoke. If you smoke, you lose your $150. Now, think about it. The prize was less, right? The amount you won was only $650 versus the $800 in Group B. This group that group reduced their smoking by 7 times the Group B. They were 7 times more effective at smoking cessation than Group B. So this idea of putting up some kind of price pact, some kind of commitment that if you don't do what you say you're going to do, there's a monetary disincentive to not doing it, is very effective. So
people don't want to lose that thing. Probably goes way back to
loss aversion.
Yeah, loss aversion back when that could kill you back in the day, right? You lose your food, or you lose your this, or
right.
Okay, yeah.
We enjoy winning less than we hate losing.
Yeah, I call it pay price to action, and I see it in my academy all the time. When the students have paid $3,000 for something, they show up and they do the work because they don't want to think, wow, I've lost that money.
That's right.
But when I charge $300 for something, the drop-off is ridiculous. Like these people just disappear.
Yeah.
It's a weird human incentive, but 7 times,
yeah.
Wow.
So here's how I use this in my own life. So
Okay.
every morning, as I mentioned, I hated exercise for years and years. Every morning when I wake up, the first thing I see when I get dressed is this calendar I have on the wall. And on the calendar is taped a $100 bill, fresh, crisp $100 bill. Above the calendar is a Bic lighter. And this is called the burn or burn technique. I have 2 choices to make every day. I can either go to the gym, burn some calories, do some push-ups, take a walk, do something physical, or burn that $100 bill. It's been 3.5 years. I've never burned the $100 bill. Why? Because the disincentive of having to burn that money right there says, fine, I'll just do some push-ups. I'll go take a walk. I'll go to the gym. Today, actually, I don't even need that anymore because now, with the other techniques we described earlier, now I intrinsically like going to work out.
Right.
But that technique of using a monetary disincentive to help me stay on track is a wonderful price pact.
It's not only that, you'd actually literally have to light it yourself and watch that money burn.
Yeah. And again, I'm not saying everybody needs to do this.
Right.
I'm not saying you need to do it as much as I'm doing it. It's the principle. What I want to teach people are the strategies. The tactics are less important. Tactics are what you do. Strategy is why you do it. So I want to teach these basic 4 principles, and then you can use them and mix and match them any way you want to come up with a solution for you in your life based on your values, not mine.
Yeah, that's powerful. All right, was there a third one?
Yeah, so the Identity Pact. And to me, this is the most interesting of the 3.
Yeah.
Identity Pacts actually comes from the research into the psychology of religion. I'm not a fan of self-discipline, self-control, willpower. Those things tend to be overused. We only want to use self-discipline and self-control if we really have run out of every other technique. And as someone who was clinically obese and always struggled with these problems of distraction my whole life until I got into this field, I hated when people say, oh, just have more self-discipline or just tough it out. That stuff doesn't work. What you need is a system, and what you need is an identity. So it turns out that when you look at the psychology of religion, what we find is that people who have some kind of moniker, that they see themselves in a certain way, are much more likely to stay on track. So there's a joke that goes, how do you know someone's a vegan? Don't worry, they'll tell you. And not to pick on vegans. I mean, you can substitute.
I used to tell that joke.
Okay.
To vegans.
Yeah, there you go, right?
Didn't go over so well.
You can substitute CrossFit or
Yes.
keto. Oh, it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
Why do people do this? Because there's something about that moniker, right? Every religion, every major religion, has people who proselytize, who evangelize. Why? Is it just about spreading the faith? No. When you have a moniker, when you have an identity, and you tell others about it, it solidifies your identity. It makes you more likely to stay on the path. And what's so important about these monikers, if you think about like a devout Muslim, okay? A devout Muslim does not say to themselves, ooh, should I have that gin and tonic? No, a devout Muslim does not drink alcohol. It's who they are, it's their identity. A vegetarian doesn't say, that bacon looks good, I wonder if I should have some. No, a vegetarian does not eat meat. They do not have to use a lot of self-discipline and self-control. It's who they are. Right. And this is why the book is titled Indistractable. This is our new moniker. This is our new identity. And is it any weirder or stranger than someone who might wear religious garb that's not common, or someone who eats in a way that's not common? No. This can be our identity. This can be who we are. And we should proudly declare that we are the kind of people who do what we say we're going to do. We are indistractable.